Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. Today, the geopolitical map fractures over Taiwan, the AI arms race crowns a three-headed monopoly, and a guy in Sydney just used Grok to design a cancer vaccine for his dog. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it is quite a day on the timeline.
It really is. And, for you listening, today's deep dive is pulling from the absolute most critical trends right now. We're moving from these huge global macro shocks all the way down to how it literally changes your living room.
Right, because we have to look past the surface level stuff. I mean, we're looking at the second order effects today, like who actually captures the value here, who gets regulated. Because, we are transitioning right now from a world of human abundance to a world of, metered, hyper-efficient intelligence.
So let's start with the macro reality check, because the cultural conversation right now is incredibly tense. There's a viral post from the Unusual Whales account highlighting a Politico report that just dropped.
Oh, yeah, the military drills.
Right. Taiwan detected 26 Chinese military aircraft near the island on March 15th. And to give you some context on the data, Taiwan's defense ministry shows these incursions have surged, like 50% since 2020.
Which is a massive spike.
It is, and the timeline is reacting with pure anxiety.
Yeah.
Like Unusual Whales paired this with a meme of a distressed Donald Trump looking at his phone. It just perfectly captures this visceral Western panic over what Beijing calls routine drills.
Well, and the market definitely views it as a countdown to a blockade. But, if we step back, it's not just about military posturing. It's a fundamental shift in global leverage.
Now so.
We're watching geopolitical tensions escalate at the exact historical moment that human capital is shrinking universally. I mean, those two lines on the graph are crossing right now.
Which ties perfectly into what Chamath posted today. Chamath Palihapitiya. He revisited his warning from 2021 about demographic decline, and the numbers are honestly staggering.
Yeah, they really are.
The U.S. fertility rate just hit a record low of 1.6 in 2024. Right. And if you look at the UN projections, over 110 countries are now below the 2.1 replacement level. It's not just a local issue.
No, it's a total global phenomenon. And the analysis of why this is happening is where it gets super fascinating. He outlines 5 voluntary forces driving this collapse.
Right, the biology and the tech.
Exactly. You have biology like age-related fertility drops and a documented decline in testosterone. Then you have technology, which has literally decoupled sex from reproduction through dating apps and IVF.
And obviously the money.
Oh, the economics are brutal. It now costs roughly $310,000 to raise a single child to age 18 in the U.S. Add in the cultural shifts and the sheer failure of policy incentives to reverse the trend.
He even brings up that wild 1968 mouse universe experiment. We should unpack that because it's a crazy analogy.
Yeah, the mouse utopia experiment. It's the crucial second-order analysis here. So in 1968, a researcher named John Calhoun built Universe 25. He gave a mouse population infinite food, infinite water, perfect climate, and zero predators.
Just total abundance.
Complete abundance. And what happened? The society collapsed into a behavioral sink. The mice just stopped breeding. Social structures broke down completely. The population imploded despite having literally everything they needed.
That is so dark.
Right. It raises a super uncomfortable question. If humanity is running a 1968 mouse universe experiment of abundance leading to collapse, who builds the future?
Wait, I have to push back there.
Go ahead.
Because if the human labor pie is shrinking globally, technology isn't just a luxury anymore. Right? It's the only way to keep the lights on. It's an economic imperative.
I mean, when human capital dries up, silicon is the only bridge left.
Exactly. Which seamlessly transitions us into the AI arms race.
Yeah.
Because the frontier labs have completely broken away from the pack. Ethan Malachrelik put out a great post synthesizing the March 2026 benchmarks.
The GPQA scores, right?
OpenAI's GPT 5.3, Google's Gemini 3 Pro, and Anthropic's Claude 4.6 are all scoring above 90% on GPQA.
Which is wild because that's not basic trivia.
No, not at all. It's PhD-level physics, biology, and chemistry. Actual human scientists struggle with it. And here's where the market dynamics shift. Meta, XAI, and the Chinese open weights models are all lagging by months.
So it's officially a three-headed oligopoly.
It really is.
And Malik's point about the end game is profound here. We are rapidly approaching recursive AI self-improvement, where an AI becomes smart enough to upgrade its own code without us. If that happens, it's going to happen within the closed walls of Google, OpenAI, or Anthropic.
Meaning a permanent concentration of power, which tees up this viral Sam Altman quote that CGTWE's posted today. In this interview, Altman straight up says intelligence will be sold on a meter, like electricity or water.
Yeah, I have to be extremely cynical here.
I figured you would.
Because that framing is brilliant PR, but it represents terrifying economics. If you read the Brookings Institution studies on this, Altman is selling this as democratization. Everyone gets the grid. But think about the 1890s electrical grid. We went from decentralized candles to a centralized world where a few massive power plants controlled everything. If intelligence is metered, who controls the valve?
The oligopoly.
Exactly. This isn't democratization. We are permanently handing the foundational layer of human cognition over to a private monopoly. If they raise the price per kilowatt of thought, you have absolutely no choice but to pay it.
Well, to be fair, they might hit a technical wall before they own the cognitive grid.
You're talking about Cholet's post.
Yeah, Francois Cholet-Verscholl.
Yeah.
He's the creator of the ARC-AGI benchmark. He argues deep learning is hitting a massive wall when it comes to true generalization.
His critique is absolutely vital right now, because deep learning is just parametric pattern recognition. It's not actual thinking. It's guessing answers based on statistical likelihood.
Right. Tweaks aren't enough anymore. He points to his Zendaya lab and says models need a fundamental architecture shift to symbolic learning, not just more compute.
Right. So the permanent monopoly might not be inevitable if the current architecture maxes out. But, even with the flawed models we have today, it's radically shifting human labor.
Oh, the labor reshuffle is happening in real time. Look at how this applies to management. There's a post from Startup Archive about NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. Jensen famously has 60 direct reports.
60! That is insane. Conventional HR says anything over 8 is a disaster.
Exactly. And he completely rejects one-on-one meetings. He forces all feedback to be public. It's like flattening the corporate pyramid into a pancake to maximize information flow.
Which is hyper efficient. But that connects to an even wilder macroeconomic theory about automation. Travis Kalanick brought this up on the All In podcast, and RCK3T23 summarized it as the plumber paradox.
Oh, I loved this post.
It's so good. Kalanick inverts the automation panic entirely. He says, imagine a world where almost everything is automated. The long pole in the tent, the bottleneck, becomes exponentially more valuable.
Right, like the plumber who actually has to physically connect the pipes in a skyscraper.
Exactly. If AI handles the zoning, the blueprints, the logistics in 3 seconds, the only holdup is the human being pouring concrete. So all the economic premium condenses onto that blue-collar worker.
Which sounds great for the plumber.
Sure, but who actually captures that value long-term? Are we just shifting from white-collar bloat to hyper-optimized blue-collar bottlenecks? Because the moment a human plumber commands $500 an hour, the market will incentivize billions in robotics to automate the plumber, too.
That's a fair point. But right now, AI is empowering the individual in a massive way.
How so?
Look at the data from your Release the World Kaimo. Anthropic is seeing solo developers build billion-dollar products using Claude Code as an autonomous agent. We are looking at one-person unicorns.
Wow.
Yeah, the AI acts as the entire engineering department. And it's becoming a formal career. Roundtable Space posted about Anthropic's new Claude Certified Architect exam. They're dropping a $100 million partner network for this.
They're credentialing the revolution.
Exactly. So the question for you listening is, are you going to be the metered user or the certified architect?
And that choice is playing out aggressively with citizen science, right? People are taking control of their own data instead of handing it to the tech giants.
Yes. Vibe coding health apps. This is the coolest trend. Alex Cohen, another Cohen, posted this masterclass. He vibe coded his own local health app using Claude.
Without writing traditional code.
Right. He used the Aura API for sleep data, fed his Rhythm Health blood work PDFs in, and used Gemini for OCR to extract numbers from workout screenshots.
And it's all local. That's the key.
Exactly. There's a 40% surge in these privacy-focused AI repo stars on GitHub. People are clawing their data back from vendors.
But the absolute extreme edge of this citizen science trend is that dog vaccine story.
Oh my God, yes. From XFreeze. This is the wildest story on the timeline today.
He really is.
Paul Cunningham, a guy in Sydney, spent $3,000 to sequence his dog's tumor. He used ChatGPT and AlphaFold to process it. But the final mRNA vaccine, he had Grok design it.
And we have to explain how a text bot does that. To an AI, DNA is just a programming language made of A, C, T, and G. If Grok writes Python, it can write mRNA sequences.
And it worked. He had it manufactured, injected it into his dog, and the tumor shrank by 50%. It completely bypasses traditional pharma timelines.
It's stunning.
And Grok isn't just doing biology. Scobleiser posted about how Grok instantly analyzed 150 dense, peer-reviewed AI posters at NVIDIA's GTC conference, just from a panning video.
I mean, the capability is undeniable, but I have to take a dark turn here. As an analyst, I have to ask, where's all the spatial data coming from to train these visual models?
Right.
Look at the post from Bilawal Sidhu. He highlights Niantic CTO Brian McClendon. Players of Pokemon Go have unwittingly crowdsourced 30 billion images to build a 3D map of the world.
30 billion. That is insane.
We're letting kids catch Pikachu, and in the background, we're subsidizing the visual AI infrastructure for autonomous robotics without user consent. We are literally the unpaid data labelers of the spatial internet.
Wow. That is incredibly dystopian.
It is the ultimate invisible trade-off.
Which brings us to the final synthesis of today. Between the geopolitical instability, the huge cost of raising kids, and these hyper-efficient tech economies, how are humans physically reacting?
They're returning to the village.
Exactly. Matt Walsh blog had a viral post about reversing his stance on kicking kids out at 18. Now he wants all his kids in a multi-generational home. And Not For Voltaire replied, pushing for a family commune model.
And the data backs it up. 17% of 2025 home buyers bought multi-generational properties.
Right.
It's a profound irony. We spent 100 years building hyper-individualistic lives. Now, the sheer economic pressure of the tech boom and $310,000 child-rearing costs is forcing us back into family communes.
It really is. The through line here is hyper-efficiency replacing traditional human structures. From macro geopolitics affecting supply chains to using Claude to analyze your own blood work.
And that acceleration means a clash is coming. My prediction for tomorrow. Based on the Anthropic certifications and those DIY health apps, watch for a major regulatory push from traditional healthcare or tech incumbents.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to try to outlaw unlicensed AI medical diagnostics. They won't let citizen science eat their margins without a massive legal fight.
Spot on. They're going to protect their turf. Which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to mull over today.
Let's hear it.
If intelligence is metered like electricity, and physical space is mapped by mobile games, what is the last remaining asset you own that cannot be digitized or outsourced? Think about that. That's the signal for today. Stay sharp, and we'll see you on the timeline tomorrow.